Sir Donald George Bradman, AC, the 27th of August 1908 to the 25th of February 2001, nicknamed the Don, was an Australian international cricketer, widely acknowledged as the greatest batsman of all time. Bradman's career Test batting average of 99.94 has been cited as the greatest achievement by any sportsman in any major sport. During a 20-year playing career, Bradman consistently scored at a level that made him worth 3 batsmen to Australia. Almost 50 years after his retirement, Prime Minister called him the greatest living Australian. Bradman's image has appeared on postage stamps and coins, and a museum dedicated to his life was opened while he was still living. Early years. Bradman's birthplace. Bradman was born on the 27th of August 1908 at Cootamundra, New South Wales, NSW, home of Granny Scholes, a midwife. That house is now the Bradman Birthplace Museum. Bradman practiced batting incessantly during his youth. He invented his own solo cricket game. In formal cricket, he hit his first century at the age of 12, with an undefeated 115 playing for Barrel Public School against Mittagong High School. Bush cricketer Bradman's father took him to the Sydney Cricket Ground to watch the 5th Ashes Test match. On that day, Bradman formed an ambition. I shall never be satisfied until I play on this ground. Bradman, in 1928 against Wingello, Bradman made 234. In the competition final against Moss Vale, Bradman scored 320 not out. Mindful of Bradman's big scores for Bowral, the association wrote to him, requesting his attendance at a practice session in Sydney. He scored 110 on his debut, making his first century on a turf pitch. First-class debut. Bradman made his first-class debut at the Adelaide Oval, aged 19. He secured the achievement of 100 on debut, with an innings of 118. Test career. Bradman is cheered off the ground by his opponents after scoring 452. Australia was all out for 66 in the second innings, and lost by 675 runs.
You're still one of the best players.
At third test, Bradman scored 79 and 112 to become the youngest player to make a test century. In the fourth test, Bradman reached 58 and was run out. It was to be the only run out of his test career. In fifth and final test, Bradman completed 1,690 first-class runs, averaging 93.88 and 340 not out against Victoria. Against Queensland at the SCG, Bradman set a then world record for first-class cricket by scoring 452 not out. He made his runs in only 415 minutes. 1932 of England was favourites to win the 1930 Ashes series. Bradman began the tour with 236 at Worcester and went on to score 1,000 first-class runs by the end of May, the 5th player and first Australian to achieve this rare feat. Bradman, with the 1930 team in the deciding test at the Oval, Bradman made yet another multiple centuries, this time 232, which helped give Australia a big lead of 290 runs. Declining health and a brush with death in his farewell season for NSW, Bradman averaged 132.44, his best yet.
Realise what the significance of it was.
He was unwell for much of the English summer.
In 1925,
in the first innings at the Oval, Bradman and Ponsford recorded 451 runs. This new world record was to last 57 years. When he returned to London to prepare for the trip home, he experienced severe abdominal pain. It took and reports in newspapers hinted that he was suffering from heart trouble. Doctor more than 24 hours to diagnose acute appendicitis, and a surgeon operated immediately. Bradman lost a lot of blood during the 4-hour procedure, and peritonitis set in.
Australian cricket was desperately in need of young
Bradman
players.
walking
Stan
out to
McKay
bat in the
was a couple of
third
years
test
younger.
against
So that when
England
Bradman
at the
came to
Melbourne
team
Cricket
for the first
Ground
test
in
and failed twice, it was a
1937.
great disappointment that Bradman was.
His
he
270
was gonna be the
runs
next big
won the
thing.
match for Australia
So Bradman then came
and
back
have
into
been
the side
rated
for
the
third
greatest
test and scored
innings of
79
all
and
time.
up.
End of an era during the
England in
1938 tour of
1930,
England.
there were
Bradman
those
played the
who
most
doubted
consistent
Bradman's
cricket of his
technique on
career.
seaming wickets.
Playing
We
26
went over,
innings on
I
tour,
suppose you'd say,
Bradman
the
recorded
underdogs on
13
that tour.
centuries,
We'd been
a new
badly
Australian
defeated
record,
28-9
and
in
again
Australia.
made 1,000 first-class
And,
runs
we were
before
a
the
very
end of
young
May.
side, hadn't had much experience
In
under
scoring
English conditions.
2000,
I think it was generally thought that we would lose the 1930 series, but I believe our players got used to conditions
1,420
quickly and we improved rapidly as the tour went on.
29 runs, Bradman
Bradman's
achieved the highest
performances in England
average
that
ever
season
recorded in
were
an English
astonishing.
season,
He made 974 runs in the
115.66.
series, including a world record
India made its first
334,
tour of Australia
with
in the
309 of those scored in a single
1947-48 season.
Bradman made cricket
On the
history
15th of November,
on his first
Bradman
tour
made
of England in
172 against them for an Australian
As a
11
boy,
at Sydney, his
not yet,
100th first-class century.
past his very early
The first
20s.
non-Englishman to achieve the
scored
milestone, Bradman remains the
974
only
test
Australian
runs
to have
in
done
that
so.
series.
With Bradman now
A
retired from
score
professional
which
cricket,
still stands.
R.C. Robertson Glasgow wrote of the English reaction.
He had greatest innings, and honest to goodness, there was a dent.
A
in the middle
miracle
of the bat.
has been
You couldn't
removed from
believe
among
that a
us.
bat could have
Bradman still
a hole
holds
in
the
centre
following
line
significant
from
records
just
for
making
Test
that
match
constant
cricket.
contact right
Highest
right
career
through
batting
the ball.
average, minimum
In
20 innings,
England there he made
99.94.
such an
Highest series batting average, minimum 4 Test series 201.50, of 1,931 to 32.
Series against the West Indies and South Africa.
Also second
England
highest,
arrived in Australia in
178.75,
with a plan to defeat them.
1,947 to 48.
There's been a lot of,
Highest Test batting
there's been a lot of
rating,
suggestions as to what
961.
the prime
Highest
motivation
ratio
for
of
South
centuries
Africa
per
up this
innings
tactic
played,
of basically bowling at the body with 5,
36.25%,
6, 7
29
people on
centuries
the
from
side.
80 innings.
Once
Highest
I
ratio
saw
of
the
double
personnel
centuries per
of the
innings
team
played,
which had been
15.0%, 12 double centuries
They
from
said
80
immediately,
innings.
"We are
Highest
in
fifth
for a
wicket
barrage
partnership,
of bumpers on
405, with
But
Sid
at that
Barnes,
time, we never had any idea at all
1,946 to
that it would be used
47.
in conjunction
Highest
with the
score
left
by a
side
number
field.
7 batsman, 270,
was successful,
1,936 to
inasmuch as Bradman's
37.
average suffered,
Most runs
and he
against
made
one
just
opponent,
1 century for the
5,028. The
He
England,
averaged an
most
excellent
runs
but
in one
less than
series,
superhuman
974,
56.57.
1930.
We were very
Most
upset,
times
of
of scoring a
course, with
century
the
in a
tactics
single
they were
session.
using. The
Of
difficulty was how
play,
you're going to
6, 1
counteract,
pre-lunch,
you see, with,
2 lunch tea,
with
3 tea
7
stumps,
fieldsmen on the
most
leg
runs in
side,
one day's
the
play,
ball is being
309,
directed towards your body.
1930. Most
There
double
is
centuries,
virtually nowhere
12
to
most
go.
double centuries in a
There's
series,
nothing you can do.
3, 1930. Most triple
It was
centuries,
obvious that,
2, equal with
it
Chris
was
Gale,
something that
Brian
was not
Lara,
going to last.
and
It
Van der
only had a
Sawag,
limited
most
life
consecutive
before it
matches in which he made a century.
stopped.
6. The last 3 tests in
We were all very relieved, I think,
1,936 to
when the season was
37,
over and we got
and the
back to
first
normal
3
cricket.
tests in 1938,
1934,
fewest
Bradman
matches
struggled in the
required to
first
reach
3
1,007
tests before
matches,
making 304
2,015
and
matches,
244
3,023
in the final 2.
matches, 4,031 matches,
Throughout those
5,036
early
matches,
games, 4th Test
and
league,
6,000.
Bradman
45
went in
matches. Test
and
runs.
the
Fewest
first
innings
ball he took,
required to
he
reach
stepped in and he hit
2,022
it
innings,
straight past
3,033
wide
innings,
head on,
4,048
the best shot in the whole
innings,
game.
5,056
And as soon as he played it,
innings,
you could
and
hear the sigh of relief
6,068
from
innings.
Australian
Test
wrestlers
runs.
when
First
they got
batsman
his
in Test
right
history to
back.
score 2 triple centuries. First and
Before
only
the Australians
batsman
left England.
to have remained unbeaten on
Before the Australians left
299
England,
in a
Bradman was
Test
felled
inning.
by
The
an
first
attack of
batsman to
appendicitis,
score a Test
and
triple
then
century,
by peritonitis.
304,
For a time, grave
at number
fears
5
were held
position.
for his life.
I was very unwell when I got to England.
This remains
And
the
I was
second
still
highest Test
very
score
off
for any
colour
number
in the early
5
matches of the
batsman.
tour. I knew
Career
I wasn't
completed.
right, but
Bradman's
nobody could
Test
find out
batting
what was the
average
matter
of
with me.
99.94 has
And,
become one of
this
cricket's
was
most
really
famous,
the background
iconic
why
statistics.
I was not succeeding in the early matches. The
No
diagnosis
other
was that I
player
had
who has
appendicitis.
played more than 20
And,
Test match innings
it turned into
has finished their career with a
And in
Test
those days
average
we
of
didn't
more
have
than
penicillin, we
62.
didn't have the modern
160.
antibiotics, and it was a very
Bradman
serious
scored
business.
centuries at a rate better than 1 every 3 innings. In 80 Test innings, Bradman scored 29 centuries. Bradman, Australian icon, considered by many to be the preeminent sportsman of all time. One of Australia's most beloved heroes, he was revered abroad as well. When Nelson Mandela was released after 27 years in prison, his first question to an Australian visitor was, "Is Sir Donald Bradman still alive?" Playing style, Bradman hooks English left-arm fast bowler Bill Voce during the 1936-37 series. The position of Bradman's left foot about the stumps is an example of how he used the crease when batting. After cricket, after his return to Australia, Bradman played in his own testimonial match at Melbourne, scoring his 117th and last century, and receiving £9,342 in proceeds. The Art of Cricket, his final book, published in 1958, is an instructional manual. On the 16th of June 1979, the Australian government awarded Bradman the nation's second highest civilian honour at that time, Companion of the Order of Australia, AC, in recognition of service to the sport of cricket and cricket administration. Administrative career: Bradman was a committee member of the SACA between 1935 and 1986.
In the 1939-40 season,
it is estimated that he attended 1,713 SACA meetings during this half-century of service. As a selector, Bradman favoured attacking, positive cricketers who entertained the paying public.
After success in grade and shield
he served two high-profile periods as chairman of the Board of Control in 1960-63 and 1969-72. Bradman was more than a cricket player, non-pro. He was an astute and progressive administrator, an expansive thinker, philosopher, and writer on the game. Indeed, in some respects, he was as powerful, persuasive, and influential a figure off the ground as he was on it. Later years and death: after his wife died in 1997, Bradman suffered a discernible and not unexpected wilting of spirit.
Famous dismissal in the history of cricket.
Hospitalized with pneumonia in December 2000, he returned home in the new year and died there on the 25th of February 2001, aged 92. As early as 1939, Bradman had a Royal Navy ship named after him. Built as a fishing trawler in 1936. The Bradman stand, named in 1990, at the Adelaide Oval. The most significant of these legacy projects was the Bradman Museum, which opened in 1989 at the Bradman Oval in Barrel. When the Australian Cricket Hall of Fame was created in Melbourne in 1996, Bradman was made one of its 10 inaugural members. In 2000, Bradman was selected by cricket experts as one of 5 Wisden cricketers of the century. In 1999, Bradman was named in the 6-man shortlist for BBC Sports Personality of the Century. Family life: Bradman, with wife, left in 1938 near Maidenhead, England. Bradman first met Jessie Martha Menzies in 1920. The couple married at St Paul's Anglican Church at Burwood, Sydney on the 30th of April 1932. Bradman himself wrote 4 books. Don Bradman's book, The Story of My Cricketing Life with Hints on Batting, Bowling and Fielding, 1930, My Cricketing Life, 1938, Farewell to Cricket, 1950, and The Art of Cricket, 1958. Bradman is immortalised in 3 popular songs from different eras: Our Don Bradman, Bradman, and Sir Don.